Hey, what's up, guys? So we got a war against MidnightSun. I believe they are a newly merged alliance. I I think it's Fox, Fusion, and MidnightSun. Uh, yeah, no, they have some. They have a nice group. I recognize some of the names because like Luca. We had a little back and forth in Treacherous Sea, so I recognize the name. Um, no, some of them are pretty strong players in my opinion. One thing I noticed with, at least in this war, it's pretty clear that I think they just merged. So this might be their first war together. They're still probably, getting a feel for what everyone can do. They didn't do much coordination in terms of attacks, and their defenses are like all over the place too. It feels like they intentionally stayed away from reward for courage, and then, there were some defenses in the rune shield, but I mean it seems like the current meta is that you put your strongest defenses in those two fields. So not sure why they mostly stayed away from reward for courage, but that's something they will work out, I'm sure. This first one, I actually intended to attack this other guy, Fishy, I think, but Polar Bear beat me to it. So I switched up to my purple team and then took on, I actually forgot the name. But yeah, so one thing, another thing I noticed with their defense is I think I want to say they did not double check their defenses just before the when your defenses are locked in. Because I noticed that like a few of them had double energizing weapons, and then some of them didn't have energizing weapon, or they didn't um, equip weapons that are really suitable for the battlefield. So I think this one they had a little bit of shielding, but not much. I mean, it's possible, they just don't have those weapons. So, but like right now, I think shielding is definitely part of the meta, and any of those shielding weapons are worth working on. Um, and I think I'm using one of the better teams. Like they fixed um, Idritha with Idritha +3. So, before, like there's some weird rounding problem where she's not getting the full 100% mana when four more purple heroes cast specials after her. But they fixed that. So now this team is really good for Rune Shield because you can just charge up everyone and then fire Idritha first to take a big chunk out of the shield. And then, you do multi attacks for the four, and then she's charged again for the big finish. She can hit for probably 5-6K. Well, not there because he's pretty heavily shielded, and I didn't even get through the rune shield. So I think he built with. So I see the +1, so I'm sure he's got some kind of life steal, which is pretty nice. So I think this is probably about to end, like right here. I can go through a sequence of all heroes firing and then go back to Idritha if I need to. Oh, his Midas is awakened, so I think I waited for the next turn then. I think, just one more hit would pretty much kill him. And I did not want to send any of those green stones to charge up Midas so, like he can get more shield. I think the next one. Yeah, I was checking if I was surprised that Fishy was still there, so I was double checking to see if Polar Bear actually hit him. But um, yeah, so like I was looking at the power rankings, and I think it's a good thing that some of these alliances are emerging actually, because like last I checked, there were about I think 40 to 45 alliances up in the 7 millions total power, and like we're about seven. I think for this war at least it was like 7.8 or 7.9 million, and these guys were 7.7 last I checked. But I think they picked up some people after the start of the war, so they were probably fighting at maybe 7.4, 5. But yeah, no, like since Fun Plus is not doing, I mean I'm not seeing or I have heard anything that they plan to do to change War Match. We kind of have to do that ourselves, like just get into a range where we can have a lot of fun matchups. Um, I think anything within, I don't know. I've been thinking about this too, because you would think that similar total power would be a good war, but if you think about it, it's not, right? Because they only look at your top 15 heroes. So, someone who's really top heavy, like they're only working on their first, 10 or 15 heroes, right? They can have a pretty high um, team power, but there's a huge drop off after that, versus some, like guy who's been playing for a while. They have maybe, like 30 heroes. The power might be the same, but they will play quite different, or they'll perform quite different in a war. So yeah, power is not really that great of an indication, but it's a good, good starting point, I would say. And so yeah, like if more alliances can get into that maybe 7.5 mil range, I think we're gonna have a lot more fun in just in terms of war match. You're just gonna be able to find more alliances that are similar to what most people are in. Um, yeah, when I was looking at the powers, I just saw Valor. Man, they're running away with it. It's like I think they are. I checked this morning, so this Monday, it's after the war. So I think they were at 9.8 or 9.9 million, and the next closest was Glory at like 9.3. So they're like 500,000 or almost 600,000 power above the next closest team. I mean that's huge. If you think about it, right? The strongest player on Valor in terms of team power, I think it's Lionel. He's at like 30 or 300,000. So the difference is two Lionels. I mean that's crazy. Because I'm sure there are alliances out there in the 6 to maybe even close to 7 million range who can't get through the Lionel. I mean, if you don't have the right players with the right teams, you're not going to be able to get through like a 85, 90,000 defense. Like the runes are just like so like the runes actually make a huge difference in terms of how your teams will play. So I mean I think that's one thing a lot of people overlook, or they just don't have the resources to work on runes because they've made it so that it's almost purely pay to play, right? For runes at least. I'm actually I actually just improved some of my runes, so I actually got into the 70s for my defense because of the new Tower of Courage for Spirit, whatever. Actually, I finished it so that I got quite a few those flame things to upgrade the um, pillars, and I think that's one of the best things you can do. Like if you have those resources, just upgrade them, and then you will see a huge difference in terms of how your teams will play. I you know I played around with trying to calculate the damages, like how the damage formula is, but they with the new update, I think they actually made some changes to the calculations. Um, I like so back to the back to testing it out again. I guess I don't know. I might not even do it anymore because it's just it might not be worth the effort. Um, so yeah, and I know like a lot of people are stuck at certain levels of spirit. So one thing that actually helped me a lot, something I did was to so you know how there are three chambers, right? So there are three chambers, and usually you can probably get through all of them with taking the strong element against those heroes, right? But there are certain teams I'm sure you're all familiar with that, like a team like the purple team with Idritha and then Mary and Elmist and like Azania, that kind of team should work against any color almost. So one thing you can try, like if you have trouble with first stage, right? Just use that team. Use your best team, which whatever color it is. Don't worry about winning all three stages. Just take that team, like if you're stuck, right? Just 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 find a team that you can get through the first chamber, and then play with your secondary team, or like a color or whatever composition you have, to try to get through the second chamber. And then like once you can consistently do those two, then you can work on the third. And maybe you need your best team for the third chamber. So now that you worked out like a consistent team for the second chamber, and your best team will probably take the third chamber. The only thing you need to do is get through the first. Then so that's how I actually ended up doing level 50, because I was trying to do it with the green team on first chamber, because it's like I think it's a all blue, like anti kind of defense. And then like I would occasionally get through, like every like 3 tries or something, I get through. And then I go into the second and then the third. So I found that like I actually didn't get a lot of tries at second and third stages. So I went back and I just like, all right, well, let me just do the first chamber with my purple team, and then I can figure out a team that I can get through the second chamber with, and then I still have my my yellow team for the last chamber. And once I started doing that, I was able to test out that anti-team can actually work on the second chamber. I would get it like every other try, because I can get through the first chamber every try now with purple. So now I got a lot more attempts at the third chamber, and I got through it within the next day, just behind Polar Bear. And congrats for winning that event. I actually don't like how they did the reward. It's basically a race to finish first, and then so it kind of sucks. Oh yeah, this one is my. I think I'm gonna try to submit this as the creative event entry for like a fun team to use, which is the couple Samuel and Helena. Helena has like, I believe, one of the most hits for like a single target. So anytime you go against Jane, you can use Helena to trigger her heal, like many times. And then with Samuel, you can pretty much kill a hero with that combination. So I think it's a really fun team to play with. And it doesn't actually, you don't need a lot. I mean, you just need Samuel. I mean, it's the only 5-star you need. You don't really need all of them for this team. You can put in someone like Hytall or whoever. Just put in like a healer or someone who can cycle stones to to change the board a little bit, because you do need some red stones because like after the first time, um, you can start the team with the Sword of Nea or the Book of Nea, but after that first time, you do want to cycle the board a little bit to get more red stones up. Um, so and again, you don't really need to level up Samuel a lot. I have him at 180 because I actually finished leveling him, or not finished, but like to a to the regular maximum. And my Helena is only 60, but because I'm running this team with chain, they don't you don't really need a lot of defense or high power for this team to work. Um, and I think this will actually work really well in Rune Shield because the Jane's heal will cut through it will bypass I think it will bypass the Rune Shield. So they're taking damage straight with the healing. So even if you have shield or like regular shield, it won't matter. I haven't tested this, but I believe if their HP runs out and they still have shield, I think they still die. But I don't know if that's true. That's just my guess. I have not tested that myself. So if anyone knows the answer, either leave it in as a comment or post it somewhere. I'll probably find it. So yeah, this is a really fun team. I enjoy playing with this team for sure. So and I think it's you can make a very budget team out of this, and it should win you. It should be a winning team for, like one war flag. Still, but you still need Samuel. I don't know how many people pull Samuel, but once you have Samuel, you can make a team like this. And so the next team, I think I went in with for anti-idea. One thing though, like with new alliances like this one, I think it takes some time to actually know. One thing that's really helpful, let me just put it that way. One thing that's really helpful is to look through the war log, and like especially if you're like the alliance leader or something, look through your war attack log, and then just get a feel for everyone's like the heroes everyone has, right? Like the more you know, the better you are able to like coordinate attacks. Some defenses require a specific set of heroes, and then like so you can kind of like coordinate between your alliance mates and then say, look, I need you to save this team for the next reset or something like that, right? So you're not like wasting like a like a crucial hero like Elmist or someone like that, right? On a team where you can use some other heroes to take down, because there are some tough defenses in Rune Shield or Reward for Courage that you need really good coordination for, especially if you're talking about some of the top power players where like their defenses are like 85,000 or like getting close to 9,000. Your regular teams, because I think most of us, even like even like somewhat pay to play players, like I am pay to play obviously, but I'm not like like one of the top paying players obviously. I can field because of the rooms. So because of the rooms, I can field teams that are like in the high 50,000s to low 60,000s now. But when you're faced with those high 80,000 teams, it's quite different. You cannot make any mistakes, and then you need a board so that you can really strike fast, or you're done. Um, like Zero, the one of the highest powered players we faced a couple wars ago. His shield was just so incredibly like high number of shield. Like I think he's got like up to, so his shield plus HP on his Midas was like probably close to 14, 15,000 hit points. I mean, you gotta be really lucky to be able to take that down. So at a certain point, like unless you have those kind of teams, you're probably not looking at one shots anymore. You're looking at some kind of coordination to take them apart. Just be like, okay, I want to get rid of this weapon first, or this hero first, and then you plan it out. That's where I find a lot of the fun for just strategizing, and then thinking about how we can efficiently take down one team that we can't otherwise, right? So I don't know, things to think about. Oh, wait, my show me weapon. I will probably upgrade one of those weapons. I don't know. I guess it's lucky that I pulled so many of them, but I just wish that it wasn't that particular weapon. The Yeah, like all the Peng Lai weapons are like, I just don't find them that great, because it takes like 2 or 3 skill activations to activate, and then and they only last like 3 turns, so you're not gonna be able to refresh them in time to be really useful. And let's see. I think this is the last flag. Like at this point, I was just looking for the highest power, because they didn't have that many teams left. We probably I don't think we were trying to rub it in or anything. Just like I think we just ended up like having all our flags at the end. I didn't even play the last war, so I figure I actually used some of my flags. So, but yeah, like I definitely look forward to fight this team again. I think they do have a lot of good pieces, and once they figure out how to play together, they should be pretty good. So thanks for watching.